Hey, welcome to another episode of Chad's Beer Reviews. Continuing with the beer sent to me from Zach Avery. This is the Kernel Brewery out of London, and this is their, I don't know if I pronounce this right, Suke Quto Coffee IPA, 6.5% ABV, and it says bottle conditioned beer, store upright and pour gently if you prefer to leave the yeast sediment inside the bottle. And there's their address. We got a nice color on there. It's like a flame. It's got like a dirty orange color. I must have got some of the yeast in there. You know, pretty hazy. No carbonation in there. Only about a finger and a half of head. It's bright white. It's very frothy. It smells like an American IPA. I get a lot of tropical fruits. I get pine, definitely. Lots of pine in there. It's like a pine, a little bit of tropical fruit, and I do smell the coffee. It's very, the coffee's quite subtle, but you know, it's strong enough that I can pick it up. This will also be my first ever coffee IPA. I know there's a few of them out there, so we'll see how this Kernel Brewery does it. Cheers. Oh, that's really interesting. I mean, the first half is very standard American IPA, kind of a piney, sticky, resiny kind of bitterness to it. Second half finishes like with a kind of refreshing tropical fruit note, and you get all the coffee right on the finish and the aftertaste. Like you get like this little burst of. It's not like it's just like coffee bitterness. It's like literally coffee. It's really good. Quite dry bitterness up front. I'm noticing now that I'm getting into it, it's more of like pine needles than more of like the sticky, sappy pine. Bitterness is nice. Like it's not overwhelmingly bitter, but it's not like, you know, like it's just like a regular old pale ale where it's just kind of bitter. It's a right where a single IPA bitterness level should be. It's very drinkable too. It goes down nice and smooth. We even got, you know, a little bit of lacing on the glass here. Mouth feels, I guess, medium. You know, it's not thin, it's not super thick like an Imperial Stout or anything. Right there in the middle. Very smooth, very drinkable. I wouldn't call it refreshing. I'm drinking this outside on a very hot day, and this isn't exactly quenching my thirst. In fact, it's actually making me more thirsty because of the bitterness. The hops definitely linger here. It's you know, like I said, kind of a lighter pine with that coffee aftertaste. So it's like, I mean, it's almost exactly the same aftertaste you have after drinking a hot cup of coffee. I don't know if this is some kind of gourmet coffee brand or blend or whatever, and it doesn't taste any more particularly gourmet than any other kind of coffee. But I mean, I've never had a coffee IPA before, so I don't have much frame of reference. I'm gonna pour the rest of this in, see how it changes. Adding the yeast really didn't make much of a difference. I'm surprised. Maybe because this is an IPA and it's already a bitter beer. When you add the yeast to pretty much any kind of beer, really, it tends to make it more bitter, more dry. This has, you know, not really changed much at all since I had the yeast. It's still just as smooth, nice, smooth. I mean, the mouth feels like even like kind of softer and like a little bit more velvety. It's not a super gassy beer though. If anything, it seems to be a little less bitter. I'm getting a lot more foam from the head now. Yeah, I'm not getting as much coffee though. I will say that by adding the yeast, it's taken away from the coffeeness. Now it just drinks like a regular IPA. I think I'm going to be generous and go 9 out of 10 for the Kernel Coffee IPA. I'd like to know more about this coffee brand. I'll have to look it up. But yeah, thanks to Zach Avery for sending me this beer. And makes me want to go out and try more coffee IPAs now. Like the Dogfish 60 and 90 Minute do have a definite coffee-like taste to it, similar to this, but they're not made with coffee. This one, as far as I can tell, literally is. So yeah, it was good. I liked it. So yeah, again, 9 out of 10 for the Kernel Coffee IPA. From what I understand, they make a whole different range of IPAs with different brands of coffee and things like that. So Thanks for watching this episode of Chad's Beer Reviews, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Somebody brewed it, Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Reviews. Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.
Come join us for the second annual Saratoga Brew Fest, Saturday, June 18th, 2011 at Elms Family Farm in Ballston Spa, New York. Festivities will include live bands and over 40 breweries sharing over 100 beers. Check out SaratogaBrewFest.com for more information.